Hi, I'm Rebecca Klingler, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about why capital punishment should be legal. From the days of biblical Adam and Eve, murder has existed with the homicide of Abel and Cain. From that point on, there have been a variety of punishments for murder. The most common, though, is capital punishment, or in other words, the death penalty. Although capital punishment may cost more than life imprisonment, it should be legal and enforced in all states for murder and perhaps other major crimes. The death penalty has been argued for many reasons, perhaps the most important being the issue of money. Many claims state the costs of capital punishment far exceed those of life imprisonment. Costs include court fees, payments for attorneys, etc. The California Commission on the Fair Administration of Justice in 2008 stated, using conservative rough projections, the Commission estimates the annual cost of the present system, $137 million per year. The present system after implementation of the reforms, $232.7 million per year, and a system which imposes a maximum penalty of lifetime incarceration instead of the death penalty, $11.5 million. Costs may be higher, but America should not base the installment of capital punishment according to cost, but rather on principles. As well, according to certain findings in America, the death penalty is heavily influenced by race. As studies show from figures of the NAACP-LDF, the numbers of whites on death row and the amount of whites executed since 1976 have been higher than those of the African Americans. However, the race of victims seems to be primarily whites. Undeniably, racism is real. However, though the number of white victims may be higher, more Caucasians suffered the death penalty. It could be argued both ways, but the real issue of the matter is not whether or not the program is racist, but how principled the nation is towards dealing with murder. The principle is that murderers should suffer the consequence of death. Such people don't deserve to live as they have deprived another individual of that right. Principles may be hard to argue in a politically correct nation, as principles seem to be fading, but the minorities stress political correctness, and the majority of people in primarily Christian nations understand that homicide should not escape strict consequence. Action and consequence are deeply controversial, as more and more Americans seek to live freely. However, murder still stands as serious and should be treated as such. Not only does the death sentence rid the nation of unneeded material, but it also sends a message. Perhaps there would be fewer murders in the United States if those who committed homicides knew fully well the consequence of their actions. On the other hand, murderers are on a different mindset and perhaps don't fully understand or care about the results. It could be speculated both ways, but again, the real issue is that murder is serious and deserves immediate action. There have only been a few times when the capital punishment was enforced for an act other than murder. However, serious crimes such as rape and treason also deserve attention for the thought of possible capital punishment. In a case where murder undeniably deserves the death penalty, rape and treason are borderline and should be decided, as they are now, by the individual states of America. Unfortunately, consequences could be quite different depending on the liberal or conservative status of each state. Christopher Carr said, "Indeed, the taking of human life, even justifiably, takes a toll on a right-minded person. However, this truth resides in a layer of abstraction that includes other particulars of human political organization. Local police are called upon to use reasonable force, extending often to deadly force, in the discharge of their duties. In some instances, civilians must kill in their own self-defense or in the defense of others, and in so doing are justified by law. In a case where a human being has intentionally and imminently threatened the life of another, he is deemed by moral reason to have forfeited his moral right to be free from mortal threat to his own life. A man who kills in self-defense not only has committed no moral wrong, he has saved one innocent life at the expense of none. His courage profits the world an invaluable gift." What difference is there then in the taking of a life forfeited through aggression in the moment of that aggression, and the taking of a life forfeited through aggression at a later time upon conviction through a due process of law? In moral reason, there is none. The decision to kill another in self-defense is no different than the decision to kill an individual convicted of murder and sentenced through due process to death. In each case, that individual has forfeited his life. In short, murder deserves the capital punishment of death no matter the cost. In a country that was founded on principles, acts deserve respectable results. Racism may exist in the trial process, but racism exists everywhere and should be regarded less than the actual crime. Capital punishment was invented for a reason and should be used accordingly, not abandoned. Thank you for listening today, and I hope that this helps to influence your decision on what you think about capital punishment. Thanks for watching.